Hi guys, welcome back to the vlog. This is Stan here with you. Well, today I thought of sharing with you guys my bike practice routine, which I did for a few days just to clear my R-date bike license test. Now, if you have already been riding a commuter motorcycle back in your home country for many years, you definitely do not need to practice like me. Those of you who know me know that I started my bike riding very late, and even then I started riding only a sports bike, so I never had any experience with commuter motorcycles, and that's the reason why I purchased this Honda CB125. Now this is a LAMS approved motorcycle, and it's the exact motorcycle that's used even at the Rider Safe Course test center. So since it has a very large turning radius, it's actually very easy to maneuver. It's also light in weight and also very nimble, and you can also change gears pretty easily. It's actually the best motorcycle to practice on. So in the first exercise, you will have to move your motorcycle at a very slow pace in first gear using just your accelerator, clutch and the rear brakes. You should not use your front brakes, and you should also not put your foot down. And this should go on for at least 15 seconds so that you can clear this exercise. Now during the test there will be two lines which are parallel to each other and narrow, and you will have to ride your motorcycle between these two lines without your tires touching either of the lines, and also your foot should not touch on the floor, and you should ride as slow as possible. Now the line's length will be around 15 to 20 feet approximately, and before you reach the end of the line it should cross 15 seconds, and only then you would pass the test. So you should be as slow as possible, but you should also be very careful not to put your foot down. So please do practice this exercise very nicely. Do it as slow as possible when you're practicing it at a parking lot like me. Now with this exercise done, the next exercise is to do a figure eight with your motorcycle inside a small rectangular box. Now for this exercise we'll just choose these four boxes here: one, two, three, four, just the same four, and you should have to do the eight within this four box without your wheels touching the outer boundaries of the line. So be very careful while doing this exercise. So this figure eight also has to be done only in first gear and using only your rear brakes and clutch to control the motorcycle, which according to me is actually pretty easy because you have more control in first gear of the motorcycle rather than second or third gear. And yeah, you'll have to do the figure eight in both directions. So during the test you'll have to do the figure eight in both directions. It's pretty easy if you practiced it like this. It's pretty easy during the test. So in the next test you will have actually some markers in front of you in a straight line, and you will have to move your bike in a zigzag manner between those markers without your tires touching those markers. And each time your tires touch a marker you will lose 5 points, and you can lose a maximum of just 10 points in each exercise. So be very careful. For this exercise you can place few stones like 2 or 3 feet apart from each other. You can place like around 10 to 15 stones, and you can weave your bike around those stones. So that's a good way to practice this exercise. So in the fourth exercise you'll have to take your motorcycle to 30 kilometers per hour in second gear and suddenly slam onto your brakes, both front and rear brakes, as soon as the examiner raises his hand. And you'll have to stop your bike within 11 meters, and this the examiner will know. He'll know if you're riding it at 30 kmph or not, and he'll also know if you have stopped within 11 meters or not. If you just follow the instructions you'll be fine with this exercise. It's pretty straightforward and easy. All you'll have to do is just slam on to both the brakes as hard as possible without locking the rear tires, and shifting down to the first gear as soon as you come to a complete stop, and then putting down your feet. And one more test that they will give you is that there will be two lines in parallel in the shape of an S, and you'll have to weave your bike within these two parallel lines without touching either of the lines. So this is a bit tricky, but if you're confident with figure eight and going slow in a straight line, this should probably be pretty easy for you. Anyways, do not worry about these 5 tests that the examiner gives you, because the test lasts only for around 15 to 20 minutes, but there is actually a practice session for around 3 hours which they give you before these tests. So they prepare you pretty thoroughly before you enter these tests. So it has to be very easy. You cannot fail it if you practiced here before the test, and also when you practice with them before the actual test. So there's nothing to be worried or nervous about. It's pretty easy, so don't worry about it. You'll easily clear it just like I did. Now if you have a sports bike, please don't take that for the test, because it's very difficult to clear their maneuvers. Due to the large turning radius of sports bikes, it's very difficult to use it on the test course. Rather than taking your bikes, you can actually freely choose the rider safe courses own motorcycles which they give to you for the test. So please do take those motorcycles for the test. I purchased my motorcycle, so I took this one there for the test. I hope you guys found this vlog informative and useful. If you did, please do hit the like button. Do consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done already. And until next time, this is Stan signing out. Bye bye.